Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Day 3 of our project here. Hope everybody's doing well. Had a nice stay-at-home Saturday. My name's Chris with Crashbox. This is the 3rd day we've worked on this project. Just to review, and these videos that we're doing live are available. They're available to watch whenever you want. Let's move that up a little bit. So we've learned how to lay out bricks, carve bricks, learn how to do magnets. We did the grout yesterday. Without you, I went back and did the black on the back and the bottoms and everything just because it was driving me bananas. But everything's dry now. I had to touch up just a couple spots. I did wipe it down again this morning to just knock more of it off. And the floor piece is dry. We're actually going to work on the floor piece first. We're going to use a technique that I'm sure I've seen somebody do at some point in time. Sorry about that. But I'm going to show you. So we're going to use, this is a grout. It's actual like grout if you were going to put tile in your bathroom or whatever. It's a very fine powder. You could probably use like baby powder or something like that as well. I don't know. I have not used it. But we're going to mix that with Mod Podge. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mod Podge. It's a water-based glue that works great for sealing stuff. It works great just as a glue. A lot of people use it as a glue. But what we're going to do is we're going to mix this grout with the Mod Podge and make a basically it's almost like a concrete looking finish. I'll be honest, I haven't done this before. I just wanted to do something special to this this floor. So you can see the same damn thing will focus. You can see I added some here and just did a little light dry brush on this scrap piece of foam to kind of see what the texture's like, and I'm really digging it. So I'm gonna mix that up, lay it down on here, not cover up my cracks. I am going to put a piece of tape right here where I drew a line where the wall lives, because we don't want to do this underneath where the connection is going to be. You could probably go just a little bit deeper, but you don't want it to, unsettle your magnets or anything. And if you're using blue tape on foam, try to use as little as possible because it will pull paint off. Although this isn't a spot anybody's going to see, I still don't want the paint to pull off any more than we have to. And I can always touch it up if need be. So what's up, Jesus? I hope I'm saying your name right, and you're not Jesus. If you are, let me know. Skinny Vinny, what is up, dude? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. All right, so I'm gonna mix this stuff up. I'm gonna get some Mod Podge and put, I don't know, about that much. Sure, that much. A silver dollar's worth. So there it is. It's running everywhere. And then I'm just going to pour this grout on here. I really want it to be a paste, so I'm going to use probably a good bit of the grout. Oh, man, a big old chunk fell out. That's what I get. All right. So there's what we got mixed up. And I'm just going to use a popsicle stick and mix it. Man, I guess theoretically you could do something similar to this to do grout work with, like this stuff. But the only problem is there's so much wiping involved with the grout, in the way I do it at least. All right, I'm just trying to get kind of an even consistency, maybe a little bit of an oatmeal look. There, you can see it's right here. So, and then I'm just gonna oh, a piece fell on already. I'm gonna just lightly spread this onto here. You know, where I took the time to blackwash everything. Hindsight's 2020, right? And I'm just gonna kind of let it pucker a little bit. Yeah, I might have to mix some more of this up, but we'll see. We will see how it goes. Call you Zeus. There you go. All right, Zeus. Tiny Zeus Lister, right? I've been called Debo a time or two in my life. I'm a pretty big guy. But thanks for joining us, Zeus. I know you've been here. You've been here several times now. Bill, welcome back. Welcome back. Guys, make sure you hang around at the end. I am going to give this project away to somebody in the chat today. And that could be you. So make sure you're here at the end. And I can't tell you when that'll be. It'll be when we're done. I did not mean to go as long as we went yesterday. I just it kind of got away from me a little bit. I got lost in the sauce, as they say. All right. So I'm just going to apply this all the way around. I got my hot box going in the back. I got a space heater with my Lazy Susan on it. And we'll dry her out. And once again, this is just an added thing I'm doing. This isn't something you'd have to do. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit of texture. Get a clean popsicle stick here. There we go. So how's everybody enjoying being at home? Hopefully everybody is staying at home. I know some folks work in industries such as grocery and whatnot, where you might not necessarily get to stay home, but hopefully you're keeping yourself occupied, not drinking yourself into a coma or anything. Way too much on this one. Luckily, it scrapes right off. A lot of the time when I'm working with PVC, I'll do something similar, except I'll use you can use, spray paint, propellant paint with the PVC, because obviously with the foam it eats it away in most cases. But what I do is use some of that textured paint. I don't think I have a can in here, but I don't even know what it's called. It's like Rust-Oleum texture, like the paint, like your freaking garden pots and stuff with. That might be a little thick, but it's not the end of the world. All right. Well, these will be tricky because I can't lay my tool flat. Hey, what's up, Nidorin? Thanks for joining us again. Family moving furniture, dude, that sucks. See if you can pop back in when you're done. I am going to be giving this piece away to somebody in the chat. I might have to make another batch. This is getting really thick on me. Yeah, my kids are home too, Zeus. Yay. I think next week we're actually going to put them on something of a schedule. our schools haven't quite gotten to the point where they're trying to do homeschooling yet. But, you know, I think having the kids on a schedule where they're not just literally in front of us for every day, all day, bored out of their minds. And my poor wife takes the brunt of that for my kids, at least. They actually let me do the work I need to do. Plus, you know, come down to the shop and work sometimes. Oh man, I'm almost done here. Let's see here. All right. Now I'm going to take a paper towel, which is a hot commodity. Don't tell my wife I'm using a paper towel. She might get mad at me. I'm just going to take a little piece of a paper towel. And I'm just going to kind of dab at this. Pick up some of this overspray I've done, kind of, sort of. And it'll also give it a little bit of the texture of the towel. Well, man, I you know, if you're calling me the goat, I appreciate that, but I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe, and this is nothing but simple tricks and nonsense. So if I can teach you anything, then by all means, learn it. But most everything I know how to do, I learned by watching somebody else. Not to say I didn't put my own spin on it or add to it or combine two people's techniques, but the sentiment is appreciated nonetheless. All right, as this is drying, it's getting a little stickier and stickier. All right, we'll do one more pass with a paper towel, and then we'll go stick it in front of the hot box. DM, how are you? Welcome. We're going to paint that wall here in just a bit. And as this dries, and we'll finish this piece up. Okay. Cool. So that's what we're looking like. I'm going to pull the tape off because, well, we can pull it off now. And I'm going to go stick this in front of the heater. I'll be right back. All right, I can put this in the trash now. We're done with the grout and done with the Mod Podge. Okay, so let's talk about bricks. Let's talk about brick colors. There's lots of different colors you can do with bricks. You can do reds, browns, tan, black. And in those colors, there's a ton of different shades you can do. I'm going to try to get a little better view of this for you guys. Forgive me here. Let me, there we go. I think that'll be pretty good. Well, maybe not that. Hi, everybody. Well, that's just mostly my feet, isn't it? There we go. And then I pump it. All right, there we go. Okay, so We are going to dry brush today, much like we did on the rocks yesterday, which there's the rocks that we did. So the first thing I always try to do is just kind of establish like a base color that we're going to try to go with. I think we're going to use this this flamenco red. So there we go, flamenco red, the good old Apple Barrel Company. Sunday Heat, what's up, man? Sunday Heat's the first person ever asked me to carve bricks for him. Boy, I got some choice words for you, Sunday Heat. Just kidding, man. Just kidding. So, I know a lot of people that do this don't do the brickwork. I'm sorry, don't do the grout work till after. But I have a trick. So if it happens to get colored too bad, I have a trick I'll show you. And once I show it to you, you'll probably be like, oh, well, that's pretty straightforward. All right. So let's use this white angle brush for this. So we're gonna dry brush, which is put a decent amount of paint on the brush, and then we're gonna knock almost all of it off. And you can see it's red, but it's not like dripping red. And I can brush my hand, and some comes off, but not a lot. So we want a little bit heavier than what we normally do. Now I am going to. I should have saved my tape from earlier. We are going to tape a line here on the bricks, just so we don't get red on our bottom, which will be probably finished similar to the floor. So we'll just put that right there. And what I've done is taken this tape and folded it so there's just a tiny amount that's actually sticky here. There we go. All right. So our red, just going to start dry brushing it. And you can see immediately the impact that that's having. And not all the bricks are going to be this color, but this is where we're going to start. You don't have to do the full coverage here, especially if you're going to do a variety. You can kind of mismatch the color in there, because you're going to be adding so many other colors to it. All right. So you can see just adding one color immediately changes the whole thing, right? So for our next color, let's go with nutmeg brown. Once again, these are just the 50-cent paints from Walmart that I'm using. The acrylics, same thing at same paint at Michael's and Hobby Lobby and pretty much everywhere. It's all plaid paint. It might have a little bit of a different mix to it, but we are going to keep using the same brush because it's essentially empty. And if it's a little bit of red that gets mixed in with the brown, it's not the end of the world. So we got our brush loaded up, and we're going to wipe the majority of it off. All right. So we're just going to hit some spots here with the brown. It almost came out like a reddish brown, which actually works out just fine. Sunday he asked, how many times do a dry brusher with the red and the brown? So, I mean, honestly, you could stop now and it would be fine. You know, it's not where I'm going to stop, but so the red and the brown, you know, I've gone over each basically one time. I'm going to use my favorite color in the whole world, territorial beige. I am going to grab a different brush now. Damn. Looks like I need to get some. Oh, I have a whole nother bottle. I just haven't opened it yet. Okay. All right. So we're going to use this brush here. My brushes are nothing special. They're, I think most of these were clearance at Michael's. All right. Sorry, I had to flip over our floor piece. So I'm going to knock almost all of this off. All right. Okay. So now what I like to do is get a smaller brush. Let's see, maybe this one. So something that's about the width of the bricks. And I'm going to go in and grab the red that we were using. And I'm going to knock some of the paint, but I'm going to leave a heavier piece. And then we're just going to pick some bricks out at random and just color them specifically this color. Don't worry, it seems very bright, but it'll dull down. It'll dull down relatively quickly. So I'm just going to grab some random bricks here. And you want to kind of stay on the brick the best you can. It's not the end of the world if you get off a little bit. Let me get a little more paint. Brushes from the Dollar Tree. You know, I've tried those brushes and they fall apart like the first time I use them. I do use some super cheap brushes from Walmart that are like, I think it's 99 cents for like 20 of them. I use them for the PVC glue if I need a smaller applicator, because you know PVC just comes in with the big cotton thing in the can there. All right, let's do one more. Let's do this guy right here. All right, so now I'm gonna wipe this brush off. Let's try the brown out. Do some brown bricks. And this is just at random. Nothing in particular. We'll start complaining about this brush. All right. And you can add as many as you want. Go in and do a couple of the lighter browns, the territorial beiges. All right, and then I like to always do a couple black ones. So the little black paint. And you can do as many of these as you want or as few as you want. There's no set amount. This is however you want to do this. All right, so let's say this guy here. Well, this is all going to be weathered up anyway, so a lot of these colors are going to get lost in the sauce. Just some random brick colors here. Add one more black one to the top. Oh, let's put him right here. Maybe this brick's black too. All right. So there we have the paint so far on this brick wall. I do like to add a little variety. I mean, obviously you can do, just a solid color, which looks good too. Don't get me wrong. But I do like to add a little color mixture in there because bricks are very rarely, I mean, I say very rarely. Bricks can't all be the same color, but more often than not, you see some variations in that. So the cool thing about acrylics is you can just kind of rub them with your finger and blend them in or wipe them down, however you want to look at it. So I did leave the top kind of unfinished with the grout and the sides too. So that'll be something we can look at that as well. So there's the brickwork so far. So our grout is so it's about done here. That our texture that we put here. I'm gonna let it sit and cool for a minute because it's almost hot to the touch. So what we can do is paint this bottom piece here. So I'm gonna flip my tape around and use it here now. If it'll stick still, I might need to grab a new piece. Yeah, it's sticking for the most part. There we go. All right, so We are going to go with a dark gray for this bottom. Boy, that is not holding, but I'll work through it. So we're going to go with pewter gray. I believe is one of the colors we used for our rocks yesterday. We actually already got some out here. And we're going to use this brush here. It's got a little bit of brown on it, but it'll be fine. So once again, we're going to dry brush this. I love using grays for this stuff. I think it just, if you've textured your piece well, gray really brings out your work. Oops, I snuck up on that one. It's all right, though. It's all right. All right. So that's just one color on there so far. So we're going to do some peach now. I know what you're thinking. Peach. Trust me, it works. Wait till you see what we do with the floor. So, Sunkissed Peach. I should buy stock in this company. Have them do me custom paint. Crashbox paint. How wild would that be? But everybody uses the same stuff, so. All right. I'm just going to go back with our same brush. It's a little damp, but that color will stand out over the top. And we just want to barely get this on there anyways. So I've just the tip, right? Just the tip. And then I'm going to knock all that off. All right. Okay. It does make a huge impact, but building up these layers of paint, it definitely does. All right. So now we're going to go with a granite gray. This is like an almost white, but not quite. As soon as I bust this clog, oh, there we go. Wow, this does not want to cooperate today. Let's do it this way. No, that's way too much. That's a lifetime supply. Oh, well. Hopefully it doesn't run too far that way. Let's steer it a little bit. Okay. I really like this color. It's almost blue. So there we go. Got one little dirty spot down here. Make it a little bit lighter. Look at all that depth of color you get from those, what was that? 4 colors we got in there. Yeah. Really turns out well. All right. So let's take a look back at our floor piece now. And this appears to have dried pretty well. Mod Podge dries pretty darn hard, so you don't have to worry about it chipping off very much. So we're going to kind of do the same process we did for the floor piece here, but just go a little bit lighter. I'm sorry, for the bottom of this. So let's start out with the actually, we're going to start out with an even darker color. We're going to use this pavement. Which is almost black, not quite. All right. I'm going to drop this down a little bit and see if it'll focus better. There we come. I think that may be a little bit better. All right. So let's see here. Which brush do we want to use? I'm going to actually grab another brush. Oh, Lord. All right. I'm going to use this Fiddly D white brush. Bots in the skies, what's going on? Hey, if you're just joining us, remember we're going to give this piece away to somebody in the chat at the end. You got to be here. I'm actually taking notes of everybody here so I don't miss anybody. Let's see here. All right. So those of you that have joined us, this is a mixture of grout, fine non-sanded grout, and Mod Podge mixed together to give this some texture. So we're gonna give this a whirl and see how it comes out. So this is that pavement color I was talking about. Probably gonna go on a little heavier, just because it's white we're covering up. Oh wow, that's gonna look great. Yeah. Yeah, that's add some really nice texture to this. So this is basically just getting us back to a base. When you do have some textured stuff like this, you really want to try to paint it from different angles so you don't miss anything. Yeah, that's coming out pretty good. I've never used a textured gel. I'm not even sure what that is. All right, so that's looking good so far. We just need to add a bunch more colors to it. So next we're actually going to add the like the territorial beige. Still got some of that over here on another brush. I wonder. Let's look with the lights off. That actually works better. So I'm turning off my overhead light so you guys can see this a little bit better. Except no, I can't see anything. There's no happy medium. I remember when I got this shop, there was no overhead lights at all. And it for some reason didn't bother me. And now I have four fluorescent lights in here. LEDs that are super bright so I can see what I'm doing. Maybe I've just gotten really, really blind as I've gotten older. I'll have to look into a textured gel. I can imagine what it is, but I'm not familiar with the product at all. And there is a ton of talented creators here on the YouTubes. It's where I learn a lot of stuff. I like Black Magic Craft. I watch him, although I don't do any tabletop gaming at all. I like watching his stuff. I think it's High Eye Workshop is another one that does a lot of terrain and stuff that I enjoy watching. Who are some of the people you guys like to watch on YouTube for, building dioramas and stuff? I like to watch Hot Wheels guys too. They do some crazy stuff in like modeling, car modeling and airplanes and stuff. Those guys do some crazy stuff too. I picked up some stuff from them for sure. All right, so get up pretty close here. We're getting along here. I'm really digging this texture. All right, so the next step is pink. We're going to use fuchsia. And I'll tell you, I picked this up. There's a guy named, I think his name's Ryan. I don't know his last name. Goes by, I think it's _what_the_hell on Instagram. He builds dioramas, but like as art for a living. So I picked up some tricks from him. A lot of the guys that are on that level won't share their work. I've asked a couple of those guys for, questions about stuff, and they're just very put offish that you'd even ask. But that guy is pretty open and honest about everything. I think he's from maybe the tattoo world. All right, so we're going to use this fuchsia. I figure the brush that had the red on it would be the least worrisome with the pink. All right. All right. That's right. I just painted it pink. How about that? Yeah, Zeus. I mean, honestly, a lot of people are like that, man. It's just they're like, it's taken me years and years to learn all this stuff. Well, guess what? It has me as well. But there's nothing I do that I don't mind telling you how to do. Now, I will say, if you ask me how much something is and I tell you, then you ask me how to do it. That kind of irks me. But I'm not saying I wouldn't help that person. So let's do this pewter gray over the top now. Gross. Big old chunk there. All right. We're not going to put a whole lot of paint on the brush for this. All right. So far, so good. This stuff seems to be holding pretty well. It's not chipping off at all. Like I said, this is the first time I've really done this particular technique. I'm really happy with the way it looks. I'm sure there's a million different ways you can achieve that same effect. What's up, Alex? What's up, Keith? Adding your guys' names. We're going to be giving away this piece at the end of the show here today to somebody that is in the chat. So make sure you hang around for that. Lots and lots of layers here. Different colors can actually trick your eye sometimes. I've done some painting before that everyone said it's green and there's no green in it at all. So that's it's getting there. Yeah, hey Bill, there is absolutely a whole community. Tire Structure is a good place. There's a lot of talented people on Instagram. Follow the hashtag Diorama Creators. Some really cool guys that run that page that do basically they repost a lot of people's works. You help people get exposure. They're doing contests and stuff. So definitely check them out. I'm going to do some more with my territorial beige on top of this now. I got to get my new bottle out. That one's empty. It's my crash kit that I took to Toy Fair to patch anything up I needed. There we go. Brand new bottle of good stuff. All right. I'm going to load this up and then knock the majority of it off. Beat the devil out of it. And hey, Bill or anybody else, like I said, if you have questions about anything, feel free to ask me social media wise. Pretty easy to find. All right. It's coming along really nice. I'm really pleased with that. So I'm going to hit it with the granite gray, the lighter gray that we used up here. Just a really light top coat. Bill, don't be intimidated, man. I get that from a lot. There's another guy I'm friends with that does, I think, pretty good work, but he says he's just doesn't want to post in there. You know, honestly, there's lots of different skill levels that post in that group. I honestly wish people are, you know, people are afraid to criticize others too hard, even if they ask for criticism. I think there's a lot of room in a lot of groups like that to give more constructive criticism, and then to be able to take constructive criticism, because so many people are, you know, myself included, offended when someone says, even politely, that I think your work needs to be stepped up a notch or whatever. Yeah, I'm real happy with the way this is coming out. Have I always had an artistic eye for this type? Well, I mean, no, not really. I mean, I did art class in high school and stuff, and you know, I ran a professional wrestling promotion. I owned a professional wrestling promotion. So you know, that was artistic, I guess. I don't know. I just kind of fell into doing this and really love doing it. All right. So there's our concrete. I think this came out really, really nice. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Yeah, Bill, I mean, there's several diorama groups. I'm in a lot of them, and there doesn't seem to be many activity. Much activity, many activity. What the hell? Much activity in any of them to speak of. I am going to go over this with one more color. It's I'm going to use the antique white. This is really as a top coat. About run out of room on my tray here. There we go. Cleaned out a little corner. All right. This last bit is just to help add depth. I'm just getting the peaks of everything and the edges. And it'll add another layer of depth to the paint to trick the eye into thinking there's more there than there is. And just like we did yesterday with the rocks, I'm just going to get the edges really good. These little holes. Here we go. What do you guys think about that? What's up, MAG? All right. So, brickwork. We're going to call this done for the moment. We're going to do one more thing to it, but so we're going to do some basic. Well, we're going to do some weathering. First thing we're going to do is go over it with this antique white. And then we're going to do something outside the box, but it might be something you have in your house, so it'll work out good. So I've still got some of this antique white loaded up on this brush. So we're just going to go through here. And add some texture, some weathering to this. We'll lighten up some of these colors. Get the edges really well. It's coming together nicely. Just kind of see where we're at now. Bill, hopefully you can take some of these techniques home and add some depth to your bricks between texturing and paint. You can really make some magic happen. So we could call this done, and I think a lot of people would call it done. Oh, there's the computer. Hey, look, it's one of those things, you know, Inception. Yeah, so hopefully, Bill, you can learn some tricks here and maybe show us some of your work soon. So the next thing I want to do is some weathering. Now, Normally, I would use my airbrush for that. I've got an Iwata Eclipse airbrush that I adore, and honestly a $50 compressor off of Amazon because it's the same thing as a Badger with a case on it. I don't use it nearly as much as I used to, especially since I can use the rattle cans more on the PVC. But this is what we're going to use, and buckle up, because I don't know if you are a lady or have a lady around, she may have some old makeup she doesn't want anymore. So I have for my wife a compact of, I don't even want to know how much this probably costs, Kat Von D makeup. And then I have some Maybelline Night Sky, which is, I guess it's black. Maybe it's bluish black. I don't know. It's pretty black. And we're going to use that to do some weathering on this. So we're going to weather the edges of everything and add another layer of detail. So we'll use this darker brown. We're going to use this darker brown here. And I'm sure that color has a name. Oh, it's Sombre. We're going to use Sombre from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. That's not something you hear every day, is it? You know, they make weathering powders, right? And they're pretty expensive. I looked at them, and one day I was just wandering around in a Walmart or something and said, why wouldn't makeup work? So this the brown's gonna, it'll fall in the cracks a little bit. It's gonna give it a dirty feel, without being super heavy or thick or anything. I think you can see immediately how that's changing, how it's adding the funk to it. What's up, Alex? Collecticon Alex. Guys, remember, if you are hanging out in the chat, I am going to give this piece away to somebody in the chat at the end, which we are getting pretty close to that. Just going to add a little more and just kind of randomly add it in as you want. And you can do the same thing up here to the edges. I am going to do this in here where that it's such a stark white. And I could have painted it too, but it's, kind of fragile, so you don't want to put too much pressure on it. Yeah, so that's dulled that down on all, and I'll do the top too real quick. Yeah, I mean, I'm not embarrassed to buy anything. Some of the crazy stuff I buy to do this, plus having a wife and 3 kids, it's I don't think anything embarrasses me. And hey, who knows, at this stage in the world, it could be for you. So have at it, right? All right, so that just really toned that down a little bit. Let's hit the we'll hit the lines on the base too. So we'll do the browns first. All right, I'm going to go kind of heavy on like where the two would meet. Once again, all this stuff is about building layers to trick the eye into thinking there's more there than there actually is. So I'm going to add a little bit more to the bottom of this wall. All right. Coming along. Okay, now we're going to use the black or night sky or whatever the hell this is. And it has, I've got a tiny little brush. I don't even know where this came from, but that's what I'm going to use to apply the black. And just to show you, it is, I guess it is almost a navy blue, but it's really close to black. Hey, Collecticon, I use makeup brushes to clean my figures with. Recently reset my display. Well, actually, I'm still working on it. I'll probably be working on it forever, but use makeup brushes to clean that up with. All right, so yeah, you can see that's really making a difference here. Mine should have done the black first, but I think it's fine either way. And you know, doing this stuff here, you just randomly add it. There's really not a right way or a wrong way. You can rub with your finger a little bit if you want. Blend it in. Yep. I don't like the way that looks right there, so add some more brown to it and blend it in a bit. There we go. All right, now we're gonna do the base. I'm just gonna do the cracks and edges. Just subtle little changes here. Gentle hands for this kind of stuff. Just going to add this depth into these crevices with the black. But yeah, dollar store stuff works great for this. I think that's where this little Maybelline thing came from. Was Dollar Tree or Dollar General, somewhere cheap. You got cheap makeup at Walmart too. I don't know how good it is for your skin, but no need to go to Sephora or Ulta or whatever to buy this kind of stuff. And I am going to hit these cracks a little bit. They kind of got lost in the sauce a bit, but it's all right. They still look okay. All that trouble to make it pretty, and I just made it dirty. There she blows. I'm going to move this around a little bit, guys. Sorry. Oh, there I am again. Hello. All right. Yeah, the computer again. Okay. Couple more things I want to do to this. I talked about the grout and how to get away with painting after you've done the grout. There's two ways to do it. One, you can just live with it, which honestly don't think it looks bad. Or the other thing is you can use an awl or whatever, and you can go back through and kind of, you can go back through and, come on, focus. Well, you can go back through and lighten it back up if you want. I'm going to do just a little of that because it got a little heavy on the red the first go around, but it's nothing you have to do, because if you look in most situations, most grout is not in a good place. I do need to go back over this with the I'm going to go back on the top piece here on the bricks with the black. So yeah, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time picking this back up, but you can do this. I mean, if it's something you really wanted to go at, and you can paint the bricks first, then do your grout. Totally up to you. But I think the grout definitely adds another layer of flavor there, so to speak. So let me go back over this brick wall. I have not ever done the individual bricks. I don't have the patience for, especially having the machine. I don't have the patience for that. I've seen some people do that, do the individual brickwork. I've seen people do it and it looks amazing, and I've seen people do it and it looked bad. Once again, it's all about the skill set and being comfortable with doing the work. It's just a very time-consuming process to cut the bricks and set the bricks and pray over the bricks that you don't flub up the bricks. Very time-consuming. I'm actually going to use this. This came with like a little, I don't know, applicator sponge. If I can get it out of the freaking box. So I'm going to use that to just kind of darken up these edges a little bit where everything is broken, because it wouldn't have necessarily been a clean break. Have I ever had a piece that I've just thrown away? Yes, I have several times. Let me think here. Some of this, we did all those bases for SDCC, for Mezco, and There was I can think of at least one where the paint basically just failed bad, and I just broke it in half and threw it across the room. I try not to do that very often. But I mean, I've done work myself, like just for myself, that, you know, I'll get started on it, and because a lot of stuff I try out before I actually do it on any sort of paid work, just to see what, you know, techniques or whatever. So sometimes I'll just get started on something and really not like where it's going, and just move on from there. So you ever done that with your collection? You ever gotten to a point with it that you're just like, you know what, I'm done with this for right now? I did that with my Star Wars Black Series figure arts, whatever, 6-inch figures, just here recently. I had set a whole bunch of them up in a new display case. Came down the next day, and I'd say half of them had fallen over. Went to set them up again, they fell over again, and I just raked them out onto the floor and put them in a box and taped it up and said, maybe I'll look at that again someday, but right now I'm just not in the mood to mess with the Star Wars stuff. So what is it you guys collect? So I'm Mezco, Mythic Legions. I like Mythic Legion stuff, although they don't stand up very well either. I've got a bunch I need to go fix. Some Hot Toys, mostly Star Wars at this point, and that's really it. Trying to stop the odds and ends stuff. Oh, I'm kind of committed to the whole G.I. Joe line. Which I saw people getting their Snake Eyes today. I've got some that you know, they're paid for. They took my money, so hopefully we'll have that maybe next week. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do here is the edges on this. I'm going to paint them yellow, like safety yellow. Let me see what I got for yellow. Well, we have Pale Daffodil and Sunny Day. Let's put up our makeup, gentlemen and ladies. Where did I put my other makeup brush? Bet you didn't think you were going to hear that today. There it is. How easy is it for me to replicate a piece? So if I'm using the machine, it literally just loading the material. You know, the finish may not be exactly the same, but you know, as far as just making the same thing over and over, that's easy to do. So like when we did the Office and the Popeye docs, that was just, you know, using the X-Carve to make it happen. I'm actually going to do a base coat of white on these sides because the yellow may not show up directly on the black. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. If you ever know anything about like screen printing T-shirts, say you have you know, black shirts and you want a red logo on them, they're always going to lay down white first because it makes it show up. So I'm just going to hit this with white real quick. I don't have to do like a fantastic job with it or anything. And I'll leave the back alone. I don't think we need to do the back. So it looks like a lot of us are in the same pocket here. I've basically weaned myself off of Marvel Legends finally. This is too much to keep up with. I used to sell them too, and that was a nightmare. But And I do have a nice Thousand Toys collection. So I have all their early stuff. I have the synthetic humans and whatnot. I love those things. I've got both versions of Hellboy, and I got the Abe on order. Like Hellboy a lot. Some other random pieces from them. I have the Blom figures, the Kittery and the creepy white things. I can't think of what they're called. And I do get some other imports, but not very much. Not anymore. All right. That is probably dry enough to go ahead and put some yellow on top of it. So we'll try Sunny Day. Hey, Bill. Remember that your local Crashbox guy is a Mezco wholesaler as well. So if you ever need any Mezcos, let your boy know. Oh boy, this paint is cloggy. So this is the yellow we're going to use. Ooh, it looks like a Cadbury cream egg, doesn't it? Man, and I tell you, it's so funny. Some of this paint just smells wretched, and this is one of those. The yellow smells so bad. The yellow and the orange, it's something to do with the pigment that they use. It just does not smell good at all. Yeah, the safeguards. Those are the creepiest things in the world. I need to watch that. I need to watch that anime again. It was so good. I was hoping they'd make more of them, but I haven't heard anything about it. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be showing you guys what I'm doing. Here we go. Just a little bit of yellow. Just a pop of color. There it is. Do I take money orders? No. Mostly just do PayPal, which is super easy to set up. Bartman, what is up? How are you? Thanks for joining us today. All right. Well, could probably go on here forever on this, but I think I've done a pretty decent job showing some techniques here over the past 3 days on this project and these rocks as well. I need to tell you something. I've been making rocks. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. I'm just wiping some of this yellow paint off to kind of weather it up a bit, make it look a little bit haggard. Well, there she is. Now that I don't need to see with a blinding force anymore. Probably a little bit better view of what we got going on. All right. So there she is. So if you're just joining us, if you're watching and you're not in the chat, please pop your head in and say hello. Well, I'm going to give this away right now. I'll give everybody a chance to chime in. Yo, what's up, David Cologne? How are you, my friend? Good to see you. All right, if you are in the chat and you're watching and you want to be entered in this opportunity to have this shipped to you, type the word Crashbox in the chat. That's Crashbox with a CHRASHBOX. So, Body Disguise, I've actually never paid attention to how you spell your name. It's pretty clever, actually. Just always read it off. And don't do it more than once, guys. You're going to mess me up here. I think I got everybody here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 9 of you, I believe, that commented. I wonder, can I screen share from here? I'm not really. It took me a minute to even figure out how to freaking do this. I don't think I can screen share. Well, I can just point the camera at the screen. Let's see here. That's my elbow. Ooh, elbow. 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 Definitely strange. All right, so I'm going to type closed here, and let me set up a. Let me set something up real quick on the computer. Give me a sec, guys. I know this is not very exciting, but Let's set this up real quick with everybody's names. Too many pieces of technology here. All right. Let's see here. It's going to be just like one of those spin to win events. But I don't have Jose here to make it fancy for us. But here we go. All right. David Cologne's out of here. It's going to be last man standing. Sorry, David. You have enough dioramas. Spots in the skies. You're out of here. Felix, you're out of here. I'm hoping you guys can see this. MAG, you're out of here. Alex, you're out of here. Jesus, you're out of here. Master Skinny Toys, you're out of here. Looks like Tom's our winner. I left Bartman off. Sorry, Bartman. Tom, you're our winner. Bartman, I'll send you something anyways because I let you out. So send me your contact info. What did I say one? Forgot already. Tom, send me reach out to me on social media. Crashbox Customs everywhere. Let me know. And I'll get this out to you. Yeah, so I am going to continue to do these. May not be as much of a teaching thing as I'm going to let you watch what I do. I've got a project I need to build for this photo challenge. So I'll be building something, a room. Nothing super complicated, but be interesting to watch that. So once again, I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you subscribe. And give us a like on this video. Share it with your friends that do dioramas or don't do dioramas. And we will catch you later. Thanks, everyone.